What is going on out there, peeps? All right, we're gonna just take a quick review of what's going on in the markets. It looks like there's a slight rebound going on with cryptocurrencies. Kind of give you my prediction where I think it's going to be. Again, it's just my opinion, but I also want to remind people of what happened in 2008 because it's going to happen to a lot of people. I believe the statistic is 97% of the people will lose almost everything in this next market crash because they were not prepared properly. Remember this in 2008? We seen foreclosures everywhere in one of our neighborhoods by where I used to live. I seen the foreclosure signs were literally like on 15, 16 consecutive houses. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And of course, when you're younger, you don't think too much of it. But, again, as you get older and you get wiser about what's going on in the markets when it comes to retirements and realizing that, you only got so many workable years depending on, of course, the type of job you have. One of those ways to protect yourself is to invest, obviously, in silver and gold. And if you're considering buying precious metals, give a consideration to our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer in Puerto Rico or the United States and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free ½ ounce of silver. Trust me, you want it. Again, I want to encourage people to go support our friends over at Wall Street Silver, both their YouTube channel and their Reddit page. The links are down below. And a reminder that whenever you're reading the comments, just make sure you know the difference between when I post a comment, you'll see a gray around my name, versus those people trying to scam you. There's no gray around the name. And I'm not going to send you no WhatsApp or emails or anything like that. All right, a quick glance at the market. You could see silver's doing pretty decent. Well, let's refresh it. So, because sometimes if you go to it for a little bit, there we go. So what are we looking at here? Gold, yep, down $1.40. Silver trying to rebound just a little bit. Looks like every time it gets around at 28, starts to run from 28 to 29, it magically all of a sudden drops down below $28, but rebounds fairly quick. Speaking of rebound, take a look at cryptocurrencies. Good Lord, I watched Bitcoin drop all the way down to 31,000. I kept watching and watching, then it started running up, and I go, there we go. It's going back up. For how long? I don't know. But here's my prediction. With us getting closer to June 28th, and again, this is all speculation on a lot of people's part. We're not sure how the COMEX or the LBRY, what's going on with Basel III is really going to affect the market. Those who are in the know and way smarter than I am, I listen to them talk, and they are beyond convinced that silver and gold is going to take off since there's not going to be anything there to manipulate it anymore, which is a plus for us who are holding on to gold and silver. Of course, now there's a sense of urgency for me to keep stacking. So, I know the June 28th, the European people are the first to make their move. January 1st, 2022, the UK, and we're a little bit after that. But the effect should be felt immediately. So having said that, I told you guys it is my opinion that they would start artificially pumping up again cryptocurrencies. And I was going to give you a prediction, but I wanted to wait for Bitcoin to bottom out and before it started going up. It did drop down to 31,000. So here is where I'm guessing it's going to get up to. In its effort to distract people from going to physical precious metals. It's at 36 right now. I wouldn't be surprised, and my prediction is it's going to get up around 47, 49,000 again. But it's going to do it on a fairly consistent small climb. Now, this is a big one. It looks like it's going back down. As soon as I make this prediction, of course, it's going in the wrong direction. But we'll see. We'll see. It's up 15%. It's not too shabby. Okay? So I'm thinking they're going to start slowly having the prices go up. Again, catching attentions and hopes of everybody trying to catch this next wave. That's its purpose, is to keep your attention away from gold and silver. That's just my opinion. I'm going to see somewhere around 47, 49,000 for Bitcoin. In my opinion, you're going to see for sure Ethereum get up around the $4,000 mark again. Again, this is just my opinion. They're going to need to do whatever it takes to keep people focused on anything else but precious metals and any news on precious metals. Now, the announcements of getting ready to come out on not one, but two possible stimulus checks, I'm sure will help the market go up easily. But again, I got all my ducks pretty much in a row. I am all in on gold and silver. About 98% of my holdings are in those two precious metals. And here's why. For those you don't know, and I keep telling people, man, some people lost everything in 2008. I'm talking about people who were already retired. They were retired, they were just enjoying their days without working, and then the market crash happened. And it wiped out half, in some cases a little bit more, of everyone's 401ks. Now, if you're relying on that to retire and you just lost half of it within a few days, it's like buying in on cryptocurrencies when Bitcoin was around $69,000, only to have it lose 50% of its value in just a few days. So let's hear what they have to say, and we're going to comment as it goes along.
Statement will remind you that you've lost a good chunk of your savings. Trillions of dollars have evaporated from those accounts that have become the prime source of retirement funds for a majority of American workers.
A majority of American workers. Obviously, those who are in the know, the rich, the elite, they already know to get the hell out of risky assets. Although the media will continue to pump them up, the Fed will continue to pump them up. They'll encourage people to get more and more debt. They'll artificially pump up the markets. You have zombie corporations out there. They'll artificially pump up cryptocurrencies. Meanwhile, they buy assets they know that will protect them,
affecting their psyche and their future. If you're still young enough, there's time to rebuild and recover. But if you're in your 50s or 60s or beyond, the consequences can be dire.
In this crisis that we have coming up, I look again, 50s, 60s, 70s, when the market crash happened in 2008, those people didn't get a chance to retire. You're going to see what happened to them, and it's sad. And yes, younger people had a chance to rebuild and hopefully learned a lesson from the first crash, and that is hedge against a crash, hedge against inflation, or protect yourself against a crash, hedge against inflation. And how do you do that? By having at least a portion of your investment portfolio or your retirement account in physical gold and silver. But watch what happens.
And it's drawing attention to the shortcomings of a retirement system that's jeopardized the financial security of tens of millions of people. It was a gray, chilly morning in Midtown Manhattan, and a line of unemployed, mostly white-collar workers stretched for blocks around the Radisson Hotel.
So you can imagine if a market really crashes and people start losing money and, 401ks and IRAs, and you have, people who, pension funds start losing money. Unemployment goes up. Because corporations can't afford to pay for employees when their financial foundation takes a huge whack due to a crash. If you have stocks that you sold and you got $10 billion and you need approximately, that $10 billion to function throughout the year, and then all of a sudden your stock loses the vast majority of its value, then the money that you have to function as a company has just been reduced. The first people to get the axe are employees.
More than 1,000 middle managers, stockbrokers, consultants, secretaries, and receptionists had come here hoping to find a job.
If you are just arriving, please step this way.
Morning, Sirenese.
It was called a career fair, but there was no merriment here, only a whiff of desperation.
Do you have any openings in the IT industry?
Many of these
So I want you to pay attention with this man. He's good. He hasn't opened up his 401k. He's about to open it with the reporter. And listen to what he has to say about what
people
happened.
had been out of work for months and burned through their liquid assets, their future even bleaker than the present. Alan Weir, who turned 60 this month, showed us his latest 401k statement, which he hadn't had the courage to open up.
I'm afraid.
You're going to open it now?
You want me to? Let's do it.
There's good reason for his trepidation. Nearly half of his life savings have vanished in a matter of months.
It went down again.
How much are you down overall?
About $140,000.
Do you think you'll ever get it back?
I mean, I would probably never see it come back. I was looking to retire probably when I hit 62. I can't do it now.
Do you hear what he said? He was planning to retire at the age of 62. But because he had not protected his retirements, he's got to work the rest of his life. What happened to the golden years?
The saddest part of this story is that it's being repeated all over the country. In eastern Pennsylvania, 59-year-old Iris Hans lost her accounting job and half of her 401k investments.
Half of her 401k investments.
She's now back in the workforce as a part-time cashier in a grocery store.
Your debit card? You have a great day.
So picture this. You just lost half of your retirement account due to a market crash. Unemployment is high. You're struggling to get a job. So what do? You end up living off of your retirement account until you can get back into the employment world. Some people weren't able to get jobs for several months. They blew right through their entire retirement account. So market took one half, surviving took the other half. Once again, I cannot stress this enough how important it is. And I'll leave the link for this video because I encourage you guys to come and watch this because it's important for you to pay attention. I don't want to do the whole thing and then all of a sudden they nail me for some type of copyrights. I just wanted to show you a couple little clips from this video to show you what happened. This is in 2008. Lots of people lost about half their retirement account, if not more. And then most of them blew through the other portion just trying to get by until they can get back out there in the workforce. I just was listening to Rand Paul talk about this. He's like, that 2008 crash is nothing compared to this one. So if that guy said if you're younger, you got plenty of time to recover. But people that's in their 40s, you know what I mean, or 50s, 60s, and 70s, what he said, I said, no, I think even younger now. 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. There won't be time for recovery. Because this is a depression that we're probably looking at going into. So instead of it lasting a few months, most likely it's going to last a few years. So once again, let me stress, if I may, be so bold, to make a suggestion that you do something to prevent you from having to go back out in the workforce after you have retired. Something that help protect you from losing your retirement in case of a market crash. You need something out of the system in case of a bail-in or negative interest rates. Again, I encourage you guys to consider putting 25-30% of your retirement into precious metals. Now, a couple of people asked me this. Since I'm thinking about it, I'll just go ahead and show you super quick. There we go. Pimpy, where do you go on Money Metals again? So when you go to Money Metals website, see where it says other? Put your cursor over it. Move over here where it says retirement account. Click it. In here, just read through it because this is it explains to you how to get a self-directed gold IRA account. Read through it. It's pretty user-friendly. There's a video that goes with it. This is one of the reasons why I love Money Metals. Man, I can't brag about them enough. And that is they make everything very user-friendly. So you go through here and it explains to you what you need to do. Also, if you keep on scrolling down, it does cover 401ks. Okay? So you need to read this so you guys can understand what you need to do. If you get stuck and you're still not sure what's happening, the people at Money Metals, they are experts at what they do. They are some of the most politest people you'll ever talk to. Don't be afraid to give them a call and ask questions. 800-800-1865. Tell them Pimpy sent you. And they'll help you out. They'll help walk you through this. So don't be like one of these people in 2008 who didn't do anything to protect their retirement accounts. Can you imagine? Some of you out there have just recently retired, but can you imagine now being forced to have to go back to work because your retirement account that you've been working for so long has been wiped away because of a crisis? Just consider it is all I'm saying. So if, guess what? Nothing happens. Let's say the market continues to go. We're fine. We somehow magically recover. Then you lose nothing. You'll still have the gold and silver that you can sell or exchange, just like you have living off the money from your retirement accounts, your monthly payments. But if something does happen and you're not protected, you could lose everything. We're already looking at what could be the largest transformation of wealth ever in our history. If gold and silver do what everybody's anticipating is going to happen because of Basel III, that is going to change a lot of people's lives. So you might want to consider moving before June 28th part of your retirement accounts, just in case the price change happens, they revalue, then you could probably retire years earlier than you had anticipated. All right, you guys let me know. I keep reaching out to you guys to see if any of you guys are old enough to remember the crash in 2008, and did it affect you at all? I'm wondering how many of you, because I know a couple of people have chimed in the group. They lost everything, they said, and their house was foreclosed on. So they had to start literally from scratch. That's actually really freaking heartbreaking. So protect yourself, protect your family. 6,000 years of recorded history tells you that the safest move is to move into gold and silver. That's it, you guys. Let me know what you think. Hit the thumbs up button if you're not a subscriber. Please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.